Welcome to Job Help Hotline. My name is Charlie Negron, and I am with Greater Westtown. Today, I'm hosting, and my co-host is...
Hightower.
And today, what we're going to do is basically just kind of sit back and have a conversation about our training program, kind of what it involves, the time limit of each of the training programs, what you can expect in the orientations, and maybe a little bit of history on how we kind of find out about the training program. So I want to say welcome to you. Welcome to the guests, and hopefully you'll stay tuned as we kind of journey through this background of how we got to this training program, and maybe give you a little bit of interest and maybe you applying to our training program. So, Ray, I know we got a little bit of a script over here. We got some set questions and stuff, and basically what I want to do is just kind of get into your head a little bit and kind of ask you a few questions.
All right.
You guys are going to hear this live, and basically I'm going to be hearing a lot of this stuff for the first time myself. So hopefully it'll be some good banter back and forth, and we'll just ask some questions, and hopefully I'll pique your interest about why we came into this training program and why we stayed into this training program, right? And kind of what we do. So let me just start off with the first couple of questions. All right. Let me just backtrack a little bit. So I want to let the people a little bit about our mission statement and kind of what we do, right? And give them some kind of ground rules and what we want to do. So basically, what Greater Westtown mission statement is basically empowering community residents through education, training, and employment in a nutshell, right? So whenever you are thinking about maybe coming in and visiting our training program, you can be assured that our purpose in bringing you in and getting you through the process of maybe enrolling and kind of giving you a tour is to give you a little bit of insight in some of the things that we'll be asking you to do. It's all about empowering you to give you skills, training, education, and job placement once we are done with the training program. So I know right now you were a student. Matter of fact, you were a student. I was a student. I don't know how you got into the shipping and receiving program that we have there and stuff. So do me a favor, just go ahead and let me know a little bit about that background and the history and how you kind of learned about Greater Westtown Project, how you enrolled, right? What was that process like a little bit, and then send your history up until now.
Well, okay, so I actually didn't know nothing about Greater Westtown. I was bringing my best friend named Perry Freeman to the training.
Okay.
I actually was in his car. He was letting me use his car, and I was taking him up there. So at the time of me taking him up there, I went in and I signed up too. So Mr. White called me and him at the same time and was like, come back in for the interview. So it was a back and forth. Come in, bring all your IDs and everything, then come back.
Now, let me intro. Who's Mr. White?
Mr. White is, I think, the shipping and receiving coordinator.
Okay, all right. So he called you back. All right.
Right. So he called me back, and he was like, "Come back for do the test." We came back, did the test. Then he was like, "We'll let you know." So he called me back and was like, "You in?" So then after that, I had to go take the drug test. Came back. So we in the class. So it was kind of crazy because me and my best friend was in the class together. Mm-hmm. But you wouldn't know we was best friend during the class because I'm there for learning. So we didn't do the kicking it and having fun. Okay. We did that at our break time or at lunchtime or once we was out.
So basically you were there business.
Yeah,
just business. Okay.
And I actually really took the training because I didn't have a lengthy work history. So I was like, that'll look good with me having some certifications and training and something going forth for a job. So I actually was thinking a little bit. And then at the same time, what you probably didn't know, but I think Mr. White and them knew, so my mother had died like 18 months.
Oh, wow.
And unfortunate, I was incarcerated. So when I got out, or when she died, I was like, I got to get my life together. So
Okay.
that's how all that transpired.
Yeah.
And so far it worked out good, but it was fun, man. We had fun every day. We didn't miss a day. We was there early. We stayed late. And if you ask me, I think I was the valedictorian, but
Somebody else got it?
I mean, nobody, we really didn't have that, but when I say valedictorian, I think I was probably the best in everything.
Oh, yeah.
But it was somebody that was better than me driving the stand-up, somebody better than me driving the forklift, probably somebody a little better than me in math. But overall, I think I was the best.
Okay. So when you mentioned that that first visit, right? Can you tell me what was that like? I know you probably went in there. Did they show you around, or did they do what? Or
Yes. So when you first come there, we filled out the application. Then they took us for a tour to show us what we'll be learning. They showed us receiving area, inventory. They showed us the palletizing machine, better yet, shrink wrap machine. But just showing us things that we'll be learning and doing, and letting them know that it won't be like a training. It'll be like you doing actually work on a job.
Okay.
So they was telling us in the beginning not to make it like it was a training, make it like it's a job. So if we running late, call just like you at a job.
Right.
If you're not going to be able to be there, call and let them know ahead of time. Don't wait till the class start at 8:30. You call them at 9 o'clock. So really, you late.
So you started as a student,
Right.
And what year was that?
2018.
2018. Okay, so this was before COVID.
Yes,
the pandemic,
sir.
about almost 2 years before COVID, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
okay, all right. So let me stop you there, right?
Right.
Because I want to let them know about you could let them know about some of the qualifications about coming in and doing the shipping and receiving training,
Okay.
right?
So basically, the qualifications, you mainly have to be low income and live in certain areas like Humboldt Park area, Lundale community, Ulster community. You can stay out south. I mean, it's mainly long as you could get there, but you can't just be too far that we know it's going to be really, really a problem. We didn't have people. I actually done had somebody, I think we had in the class, I think they was in, I want to say, I don't want to lie, but I'm just going to just say this, but it was like Indiana. They was coming back and forth, and the crazy part about it, they was not late, not a day.
Yeah.
But, so that much, and then you have to bring like your social security card. If you get linked, let them know. Birth certificate. So mainly you just have to bring certain things in. If you was working and unemployed, check stubs.
Okay.
But just to let them know that you wasn't making too much, to make sure that you're a good fit for the program, and the program a good fit for you. So that's basically what they do to see if your income, nobody in the house making too much money.
Right.
Because the program actually is free. It's of no cost of the person who's taking the training.
That's
It's
awesome.
not free.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Someone's paying for it.
That's awesome. So you've been in the training program since 2018, and let me give you a little bit of my history with Greater West Town Project, right? And I want to just kind of relate this to the audience out there. So I've been associated with Greater West Town since 2000. 2000. Okay. It's 2024 right now, right? Yeah. So I was basically newly married. That first 6 months, I was working on the job. I was in the plastics industry for about 13 years before I came into the training program.
Right.
So the owner of that company passed away, and this was in December, right around Christmas, right before Christmas, right? So, and I was newly married. Like 6 months before that, I got married. And this happens, and the family of the owner, didn't want to kind of maintain the company, so they basically sold everything and told everybody goodbye.
Right.
So, I don't want to drag this story on a little bit too long, which I can. I went out there looking for a different kind of avenue, right? I didn't want to get back into the plastics industry. I could do that job. I went to a company, and I had to kind of figure amount of the pay
Right.
And they were going to give me something lower that I knew I was qualified for more money. So I said, this might be a good chance for me to go out and try something real different.
Right.
So one of the things I wanted to do was get into kind of like, here at KNTV, like audio-visual kind of stuff.
Right.
I had a little bit of background in that. So I actually went to a college, right? And I won't name the college, but I went there. I wanted to try to get into graphic arts and stuff like that, right? So took a tour, and there was a couple of questions that I asked there, right? So on the tour, I'm like, so, how much is this going to cost me a year, to go ahead and, do 4 years of college and get a degree? And they said it was going to be about $17,000 a year, right? So I could do the math real quick. At the end of 4 years, it was going to be about $58,000, give or less, give or take. And then, that kind of hits me like, okay, $58,000. And then the second question was real important pertaining to that first question. Is like, how much money am I going to make coming out of this with a degree starting off? And back then, this was 2000, so the minimum wage was lower.
Right.
So they said something like $8.75 an hour. That was a little bit above, minimum wage. But I did the math again, real quick in my head. I said, "There's no way I'm going to be able to take on a $58,000 debt, right? And then make $8 an hour and try to pay that off, So I looked at a different avenue. I went to the unemployment office, and I saw a small ad back then. This was when people were able to actually go into the unemployment office, unlike today where everything's done online. Saw a small little magazine and an ad for Greater Westtown Project. And I gave them a call. And they said, woodworking. I figured, I did plastics, right? That transition would be fairly easy to come over and kind of do because they use the same equipment. And I gave them a call. And I remember, coming in there with really no expectations, and I did the tour, and then I asked the same question. I said, so how much is this going to cost me? And they said, it's going to be free. And I went, what? And then I said, how long is it going to take? And they said, it's going to take about 15 weeks. I'm like, what? I could do this in 15 weeks, and it's going to be free?
Right. And
plus, I'm going to get a job after this. I'm like, okay, So that's how I kind of started back then. And one of the things that you probably didn't know is usually people after the 15 weeks of training, they help with job placement.
Right.
But because I had a little bit of manufacturing background in my history, Greater Westtown held on to me. So they offered me a job at that point. There was a kind of a manufacturing initiative that they wanted to start up, and they thought, hey, this might be a good fella to go ahead and try to be a part of that. That never worked out, but what worked out was actually me kind of taking that past experience and kind of getting into the teaching part of it and stuff. So I've been through Greater Westtown in 2000, never left. And I've been an technical instructor there since 2000. And I'm doing kind of the same thing. I'm passing on all that knowledge that I've learned and stuff to try to help our students. So let me give people some information about the training program, right? So the training program, I don't know if they have a visual of the location of where we're at. If you have a pen and paper, you might want to write this down. It's 500 North Sacramento Boulevard. We are located in the heart of Chicago, just on the west side of the city, right, very close to Garfield Park. And our training is basically the woodworking training program runs from 8 in the morning to 2:30 in the afternoon. This is a 15-week training program. So the qualifications are fairly similar, right? You have to be low income, right, in order to qualify for funding. So you could be receiving public aid or unemployment compensation, or maybe you have a family of 4, and you're under a certain income bracket that will qualify you for funding. You have to be able to test at a 6th grade level in math and reading, because we're teaching some skills that's going to be involved with that in the woodworker training program. So You got those two. The other thing is that you need to be a resident of the Chicago area, right? And then the last requirement is you're able to pass a drug screening. And the reason why is because not only in your program, but our training program, we deal with a lot of heavy commercial equipment and stuff. And when you're moving stuff around, they can be very dangerous. So we need people to just make sure that they're focused in the training.
They must be 18 years and older.
There you go. I forgot that one. I know I was thinking about one. I'm like, I'm missing one in the top of my head. So, yeah, a person has to be at least 18, right? So there's no upper limit, but there is a ground limit of 18, right? So, you were mentioning a student that you had. We had a student probably about 6 months ago. He was living on the far south side of the city also.
Yeah.
He was out in South Holland, and he came in, and this guy was never late. He was always there about a half hour before training. I was like, man, if he can make it there on public transportation, there really is no excuse for anybody else.
For no one else.
Tell me a little bit what's involved with what you do on a daily basis. You don't have to go through like all the training, but some of the things that the students are learning in shipping and receiving.
Okay, so first of all, we actually teach. It's probably not everything that go on in the warehouse, but everything we teach it goes on in the warehouse.
Oh, I see.
So we use this 4-key component called RISS.
Okay.
Which is abbreviated RISS, receiving, inventory, storage, and shipping.
Yeah.
So, but actually, we teach receiving, inventory, storage, shipping. I usually first start off with logistics, so letting them know what logistic is and how things get moved back and forth. So, really logistic, and a lot of people, one of the students was like, well, logistic is really shipping and receiving. And really, that's what it is because it's how things get to places.
Right.
But so we teach, how to drive the 5 different lift trucks: the stand-up narrow aisle, electric pallet jack rider, the order picker. Some people call it the cherry picker. Electric sit down, and we also have the propane, 2 different propane. We teach inventory control with. We have 2 warehouse management systems, Odoo and ASAP Passport.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, it's really, and actually really what you're really doing, we actually just giving you the basics of whatever you'll be doing at a warehouse, because you might not be using the same warehouse management system. You might be driving the same truck, but it might have different things on it. But you will have knowledge of it and know how to use it. So, you might get lucky and go somewhere they got the same warehouse management system, same type of truck, but still everybody train you to do whatever you're gonna do. Right. But we also like to teach them the warehouse terminology. Like a lot of people, it's like when a doctor talk, 2 doctors. If 2 doctors talking, we don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And it's not that the warehouse terminology is that much advanced, but when you go for an interview and you talk the warehouse terminology, it let people know that you have some type of knowledge or you've been kind of educated on it.
Yeah.
So that's what I try to do for the people who take the training, because a lot of people that take it, some of them is very young, some of them, I ain't gonna say they old, they don't know certain things. Like I was taking one of the students for a tour today. He knew the machine, but he didn't say the name, and I told him what it was. But we got job readiness. Yeah. She helps you get prepared for job interviews. And like I always tell them, you could be the best everything. If you can't get past the interview, you won't get the job. They'll never know how good you is.
So let me ask you a question, right? So you were a student.
Yes.
And now you're working as a teacher.
Yes.
There, right? So how do you use that history as a student to kind of relate to what the students might be going through now as they're going through this whole 12-week training program? Yeah, we got 5 minutes left.
Well, actually, one thing for sure being the students, they can't run a lot of stuff on me because I've been there before.
Okay.
2, I try to give them a heads up of what's going on because I understand, because I sat in their same seats. But I try to push them and let them know like that. Even with some of them, like it's confidence with the trucks, cause a lot of people come for the trucks, but like I said, it's more than just trucks. You don't need to take 12 weeks to learn how to drive a truck. There's so much other stuff you could learn in this training in 12 weeks that you could actually become a supervisor if you kind of computer savvy. But the difference is, I think that what I try to tell them is that something that I think, and this is what I try to instill with them, that you got to have confidence in yourself. Like, sometimes I have more confidence in the students than they do themselves. Yeah. But that's what I try to teach them. Right. Because you need the confidence to do it. And sometimes people just need somebody to get them, you know, like, kind
of push them, kind of cheer them along as they're going through the struggles, right?
Yeah.
Right. So I wanted to take a few minutes just to kind of let them know about what I do in woodworking training program, so what they're going to kind of get involved with. So a lot of the orientation is the same thing. So for those who are out there kind of looking, if you want to grab a pencil or pen, I'll give the information about where we're located and our phone number a little bit later on. So you might want to get that ready. So our woodworking training program is 15 weeks. 15 weeks. It's a little bit longer than the shipping and receiving training program. And what we do there is kind of teach everyone how to use all the machines that they might see in a typical woodworking shop to kind of get familiar with how to go ahead and do cabinet construction, machine operation. So they're going to be learning. They're going to be learning how to read shop drawings, how to break those things down into components. They're going to use a lot of safety, right, to operate a lot of the machines that you might see in the shop. We have CNC equipment that they're going to learn, table saws, routers, band saws, things that they might see like in a woodworking shop.
Right.
And all of that is geared towards that job placement at the end of the training program. So our placement rate has been about 85%. I think that's in both training programs, right, for the length of the training program. Let me give you that information. So the number, if you want to give us a call, is 312-563-9570. You can call one of us. My name, again, is Charlie Negron or Mr. Hightower, and we'll be able to answer any of your questions. You can also look at us online, Facebook. You'll be able to find Greater Westtown. And also you can look at www.gwtp.org. We have a couple of them, org or edu. Any one of those would work and stuff, and you'll be able to kind of see a little bit more of kind of what we do. And I think there's an online application that they could fill out. You'll be able to look at the tabs on the website and see both of the training programs and a little bit more of kind of what's showing in the shop, and you'll see either or. And they could go ahead and fill out an application or actually print out an application and bring it with you as you come in to the training program. So we have 1 minute left.
And I wanted to let you know, too, so we do have a alternative high school, too.
Oh, yes.
That's in the other building for if someone's trying to get back into high school. We have an alternative high school. We have an APU unit that help people that can't afford to take the training for 12 weeks that need money fast.
Yeah.
So they help you with your resumes and get you prepared to fill out for jobs and help you get a job.
So we are recruiting, right?
Yes.
So we got 2 start dates. Shipping and receiving is going to start July 8th, right? And woodworking is going to be starting July 22nd, right? So if you're interested, give us a call. Again, that number, 312-563-9570. I want to thank you, Ray, for joining me on this look back in our history. Again, my name is Charlie Negron, and I want to thank you all for being a part of this small little discussion. So,
yes, sir.
Thank you.